Hello, friends, and welcome to Oh My K-Drama, your favorite drama summary channel. Today, we have an incredible summary full of twists and turns with a surprising ending. So, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any episodes I post. Let's go! Mireille is a girl obsessed with beauty who undergoes facial surgery because she considers herself very ugly. Remember, she was a chubby girl who always suffered bullying, and even after losing weight, she wasn't happy because a boy rejected her, saying she was so ugly that no one would ever kiss her. So, she went to a bridge to take her own life, but a mysterious woman saved her. After that, Mireille reveals her face, which does not look natural, and goes to her first day of school. However, all the boys stare at her strangely, and her insecurity creeps back into her heart. Then, she looks at a popular boy, a mysterious one whose mother abandoned him when he was little. He believes his mother is dead. Ansu does not talk to him. They participate in a dance contest to get to know each other, and although Mireille is embarrassed at first, she ends up dancing like Shakira, earning applause from everyone. Meanwhile, Sula watches her with admiration and remembers Mireille from their school days. For the first time, Mireille might feel happy and goes to look for her mother. However, she hides and encounters Chango, who, suspicious, insists that they stay alone. He asks if she wants to be his girlfriend, but Mireille says she doesn't even know him. She tries to escape his arms, but Chango, angry, locks the door so she can't leave. Suddenly, something hits Chango on the head. Souls appears and says that, since he saw them alone, he wanted to know if they were kissing. Chango has no choice but to leave. Ansu watches the situation and asks Mireille if she is the girl from his old school. Back then, Ansu was the most popular guy, and all the girls wanted him. Mireille lies, saying she isn't, because she doesn't want him to discover her true identity. The next day, Changyu asks Mireille to sit beside him and once again asks if she wants to be his girlfriend. Changyu is very persistent and even harasses her until Ansu makes him trip, causing him to fall to the ground. Changyu tries to punch him, but Ansu dodges with incredible speed, humiliating Mireille in the process. Furious, Changyu grabs a chair to hit Ansu, who looks concerned and tries to stop him. However, Changyu pushes him. When it seems like Ansu is about to fall, he is caught from behind, almost being touched on the waist, and Mireille's heart bursts with joy. Changyu's friends manage to calm him down. Mireille notices that everyone is looking at them and, embarrassed, steps away. However, Ansu stays behind to grab his food and realizes that Mireille's perfume has spilled on him. He ignores the other girls complimenting him and returns the perfume to Mireille, who melts with love. Ansu then asks again if Mireille is the girl from his school. Left with no choice, she confesses the truth and admits that she is. Ansu walks away, leaving Mireille scared of reliving the bullying she suffered when she was younger. She fears that Ansu will spread the rumor throughout the school. Later, Mireille goes to a party where she can't stop looking at a beautiful girl who claims to be her friend. This girl exposes Mireille's plastic surgery to everyone, making her feel humiliated. However, Ansu defends her. Although the girl pretends to be kind, she is actually malicious. Even after this incident, Mireille continues to be bullied and is called a plastic monster. Frustrated, she loses her patience, hits the person with her bag, and yells at him, calling him a bastard. He walks away sadly and meets Kyunsu, who tries to comfort her. However, Mireille ends up meeting Goyen, a boy from her school who behaves very kindly. But a sleazy guy tries to take her home by force, and the two boys fight over her love. In the end, Mireille decides to leave alone. The next day, Mireille feels that everyone is judging her and staring at her again. But this time, she doesn't care about what others say and approaches Unso, who asks her why she underwent facial surgery. Mireille confesses that she used to be very ugly and wanted to be as beautiful as her friends. However, Unsu doesn't understand her and tells her that she shouldn't judge people by their looks. What she truly needs to change is her insecure mindset. Meanwhile, Chango uses his strength to threaten the new girls, including Mireille. He grabs her by the neck and throws her to the ground, trying to attack her. However, Kyunsu protects her, delivering a powerful kick that knocks Chango down and breaks his teeth. Furious, Chango tries to hit Kyunsu with a mop, but Kyunsu is stronger and overpowers him. Sula watches everything coldly. When she gets home, she lies to her mother, saying she is fine. However, her mother notices something is wrong and hugs her, comforting her soul and giving her strength. The next day, everyone talks about the fight. Soa ends up apologizing to Mireille after realizing that Chanyo was being cruel because she had rejected him. The two make peace. Mireille then asks Unso why he treats her so specially. Embarrassed, he replies that it's impossible. However, when they meet again, Unsu invites her to have lunch together. Mireille, surprised, asks why a boy as handsome as him would care about someone as ugly as her. Unsu tells her that she is very beautiful and that beauty is secondary. Later, in chemistry class, Mireille burns her finger. Unsu worries, but it is Goyen who takes care of her, making Kyunsu jealous. Soa also feels jealous and pretends to be injured so that Goyen will help her. During class, Mireille is about to touch a glass when Unsu yells at her not to cut herself. However, it is Goyen who grabs her arm. A jealous guy watches them, envious of the fact that Goyen gets to touch Mireille's skin. Later, Unsu discovers that Kim cleaned up everything Mireille spilled. He says he didn't do it for her, but for Mireille. Mireille then attends a perfume event, as her dream has always been to become a perfumer. Since childhood, she was told that the beauty of a perfume is not in its appearance, but in its scent. There, Mireille discovers that Unsu's mother has returned to the city without anyone knowing, except for Unso. As they bond, Unsu's mother invites Mireille for a drink. Mireille then realizes that she is the same woman who saved her from jumping off the bridge. Unsu and Mireille's emotions intensify, their personalities clash, but the more they argue, the more they fall in love. Suddenly, Unsu approaches Mireille in an SUV, but when he tries to seduce her, she rejects him faster than someone rejecting a plate of spinach. Meanwhile, he notices a man spying on them. Unsu chases him down, manages to catch him, and takes him to the police station. However, it turns out to be just a boy who had been passing by. The boy tells Mireille that she has been watched for days and that he feels she is in danger. Because of this, Unsu decides to protect her. To do so, he invites her on a date, where he takes the opportunity to tell her the truth about his mother and how it affected him in childhood. Mireille then shares that she was also angry at her father because he was against her plastic surgery, but she eventually got over it. Mireille tells Unsu that he has a big heart, but he should forgive his mother, as sooner or later, she will regret it. After that, they talk about a moment when someone laughed at Mireille at a bus stop and how it still hurts her. Unsu confesses that he didn't laugh to mock her, but because he found the way her feet moved funny. Mireille is so happy with this revelation that she ends up drinking too much and can't walk straight. Unsu holds her to prevent her from falling, and at that moment, their lips almost touch. Unsu burns with a desire to kiss her, but he only warns her to be careful with the cars before letting her go. At that moment, Mireille realizes her feelings have changed. Now she loves him even more. Later, she starts dancing like she did before, trying to get Unsu to join her. He hesitates, but eventually confesses a hidden truth. One time, in school, he got angry with her because she wore the same perfume his mother used when she went insane, and it hurt his soul. However, now Unsu tells her that he loves her perfume and asks if he can walk her home. Mireille, however, prefers to go alone and walks away, while Unsu gazes at her, longing for one last kiss with his eyes. From that moment on, their relationship changes completely. Unsu becomes nervous just looking at her. Mireille tries to avoid him, but she accidentally bumps into him. Unsu asks if she will participate in the school festival, but Mireille says she is too busy and quickly flees, avoiding the tension between them. Her friend asks her to help at the festival, and as she enters the assigned classroom, her eyes meet Unsu's. A burning tension arises between them. Meanwhile, Goyen is looking for a place to live and meets Hyun, who decides to help him since she finds him very attractive. Meanwhile, Unsu discovers that his sister is doing a live show and asks their father not to send her abroad. However, his father insists that it's an obligation. Sula furiously calls him a liar, revealing that the real reason is that he doesn't want any scandals before the elections since he wants to run for mayor. She yells at him, calling him selfish, and then calls Mireille for comfort. However, Mireille doesn't answer because she is drinking and having fun with Goyen and Hyun. When Unsu finds out, he doesn't know how to react. Hyun comments that Unsu is very handsome and looks like a famous singer. However, Unsu pays no attention to this and only realizes that Goyen now lives near Mireille. Suspicious, Goyen asks Unsu if he likes Mireille, but to avoid being exposed, Unsu lies and says no. The truth is, his heart already belongs to Mireille. The school festival arrives, and Mireille is so exhausted that she asks to be replaced, but they tell her she must keep working. Unsu, noticing her exhaustion, offers to take her place with all his heart. However, among the crowd is a boy who once rejected Mireille, calling her ugly. Now, he threatens to reveal how terrible she used to look. Furious, Mireille yells at him to shut up. Unsu considers punching the guy, but instead, he chooses to protect Mireille in a way that makes her feel safe. Later, Unsu throws a party at his house. During the party, he looks at Mireille and smiles, but Sula, filled with jealousy, watches closely. When Mireille goes to wash the dishes, Unsu offers to take care of her hands, unable to take his eyes off her. Then he asks if she wants to go to the movies with him. Mireille immediately agrees and, obsessed with looking prettier for Unsu, spends all her money on expensive makeup and lipstick. At the cinema, they sit side by side. Mireille is mesmerized by Unsu's skin, wanting to touch him. During the movie, their hands meet as they both reach for the popcorn at the same time. After the movie, as Unsu returns from the restroom, he overhears some girls saying that Kim's girlfriend must be a supermodel because he is so handsome. But when they see that it's Mireille, they look shocked and laugh. This makes Mireille feel even more insecure. As they leave the cinema, it starts to rain. Unsu realizes they have only one umbrella. He tells Mireille to use it, but she refuses. So, he gently touches her hand and decides they will share it. The two spend more and more time together, and for the first time, Unsu becomes nervous. He tells Mireille that he made peace with his mother and that it was all thanks to her. Then, they turn to each other and exchange an intense look filled with so much love that it could evaporate water. However, Mireille starts feeling insecure and decides that Unsu should only be her friend. Meanwhile, Soa confesses that she likes Unsu and tells Mireille that it's unfair for her to have had plastic surgery because naturally beautiful people have a harder time winning over a guy. Mireille starts feeling guilty, thinking she doesn't deserve Unsu. Unsu, on the other hand, arranges a meeting between his sister and their mother so they can reunite after years of being apart. After shedding many tears, his family finally finds happiness again. Later, Unsu tries to confess his feelings to Mireille, but she treats him coldly, breaking his heart. Unsu, confused, asks why she is mad at him, but Mireille simply ignores him. Meanwhile, Mireille's arrogant boss finds out she had plastic surgery and mockingly asks if Unsu also had breast surgery. Furious, Unsu punches him so hard that he passes out. The two end up fighting in front of everyone, and Unsu loses control, hitting the boss so much that he ends up being taken to the police station. At the station, they tell Unsu that he will only be released if he apologizes to Mireille's boss. However, Unsu refuses because he won't let anyone hurt the woman he loves. As a result, Unsu is fired. After that, his mother picks him up, and Mireille, seeing him, starts crying because she feels like everyone treats her poorly. Unsu comforts her, telling her that he will always be by her side, and refusing to let her walk home alone. Mireille then asks why he is so good to her. At that moment, Unsu grabs her arm and wholeheartedly confesses his love for her. However, Mireille pulls away and tells him their relationship is impossible. Unsu, shocked, asks how she can say that when everything he does is for her. Mireille replies that she only sees him as a friend, not because she doesn't love him, but because her heart is still wounded and she is too insecure. This breaks Unsu, who completely changes. He avoids Mireille at school, even changes his hair color, and everyone starts wondering what is going on with him. Meanwhile, Soa takes the opportunity to confess her feelings, but Unsu coldly responds that his heart is full of hatred and that he could never be her boyfriend. Desperate, Soa throws her arms around him, begging him to accept her, but Unsu just looks at her and runs away. He stops in the middle of the rain, feeling all the pain in his heart. At that moment, Mireille appears. Even though she rejects his love, Unsu still protects her with his umbrella and with his own life. He repeats to her that she is the only one he loves. However, Mireille rejects him again because she believes that if they start dating, everyone will laugh at her for being ugly. Unsu tries to convince her that it doesn't matter what others say, but Mireille doesn't want to relive the anxiety of being humiliated again. So, they cry in the rain, both with broken hearts. The next day, when they meet at school, Unsu tells Mireille that he will wait for her until she decides to love him. However, it is difficult for him because he sees Mireille everywhere, and her eyes are like eternal flames that burn his wounded heart. Meanwhile, Goyen invites Mireille on a date and confesses that he likes her. However, Mireille rejects him because her heart belongs to Unsu. Even so, she apologizes because she knows how painful it is to be rejected. Goyen, understanding, tells her to follow her heart because that is where the truth of love lies. However, a shady man watches them and, filled with anger, starts drinking heavily. He drinks so much that even at work, the smell of alcohol lingers on him, and everyone notices. Then, Unsu's mother begs him to stop drinking. Meanwhile, in front of everyone, Soa confesses that she likes Unsu. However, he asks her to stop being obsessed with him because he loves Mireille. At that moment, Mireille realizes that this wasn't just Soa's way of trying to separate them out of love for Unsu. She did it because she couldn't stand the idea of a girl more famous and beautiful than her. Soa is so obsessed with beauty that she even forces herself to vomit to get thinner. However, in reality, she is only making herself sicker. Mireille finally understands that she is worthy of being loved because Ansu chose her. So, she tells him that she likes him, and he, of course, says that he loves her too. Ansu asks if they should hold hands, and Mireille happily agrees. From that moment, they officially become a couple, and every time they see each other, they can't help but smile. They start dating in secret. When a classmate finds out, they lie, saying they are just friends. During class, they send each other spicy messages. When they go out to dinner, Ansu has to go to the bathroom because he feels overwhelmed. However, some friends appear, and Ansu quickly says that he is eating alone to avoid being caught. To keep their relationship hidden, they even buy masks so they can go out in public incognito. But they soon realize that this isn't working, and every moment they have to hide makes them even sadder. One day, someone tries to seduce Ansu, but he rejects them and tells them to find their own boyfriend. Finally, he confesses in front of the entire school that he and Mireille are dating. Mireille becomes nervous because she has a date alone at home and doesn't know how to act. She accidentally burns herself, and Ansu pours water on her wound to soothe the pain, then goes to get ice. But Ansu doesn't want her to leave, and suddenly, he embraces her from behind, wrapping her with his body and telling her that he loves her. Suddenly, they hear a strange noise. It turns out that Kim made a cake for Mireille's birthday. He tells her that she is his greatest wish. Later, they visit her old school, where she suffered bullying. Mireille discovers that her name is still written next to a drawing of a pig. All the bad memories flood back, tormenting her. But now Ansu is by her side, supporting her and giving her love. Ansu plays a game of basketball with some kids, and Mireille cheers for him excitedly, telling him that she is happy to have studied there and to have met him. Later, they make love in a movie theater. A man tells them that they shouldn't touch each other in public, but Ansu yells at him to shut up. The man becomes terrified, thinking that Ansu is going to kill him. Ansu then decides that they will live their love freely. Mireille tells him that he is very brave, and as she moves closer, she inhales the scent. Then Ansu tells her to come to his house. However, when he realizes they are alone, he becomes embarrassed. He doesn't know if he should talk to Mireille or rip her clothes off. So, he takes a drink to calm himself. Meanwhile, Mireille changes clothes, and a guy posts an old picture of her as a child. When Ansu sees it, he tries to take it down, and they start fighting over the picture. At that moment, they almost kiss. The guy provocatively asks Ansu how he can love Mireille when he has seen how she used to look. Ansu then responds with heartfelt words. "You are you. It doesn't matter how you looked before, because it was your heart that made me fall in love with you." Because of this, he decides to look at the picture of her for just 3 seconds. When he pulls away, Mireille thinks he is going to break up with her. But instead, Ansu surprises her with a passionate kiss, one that floods her heart like a wave of love. Once they realize they aren't dreaming, they continue kissing with even more passion. Mireille then asks if they should go to bed together. Ansu, nervous, misinterprets the question. But Mireille clarifies that she only meant sleep. Ansu tells her that he'll be her guardian until she falls asleep. Later, when Mireille is alone, she jumps with excitement as if she had won the lottery. Meanwhile, Ansu sneaks into her room just to see her one more time in all her beauty. Suddenly, Mireille's mother calls her, but Ansu is the one who answers. Naturally, she doesn't understand anything. Her mother asks if he is Mireille's boyfriend, to which Unsu proudly replies, "Yes, I am." Mirei's father finds out about their relationship and notices that there are cameras in every room. Furious, he swears that if Unsu dares to touch even an inch of his daughter's skin, he will deal with the consequences. Unsu worries that Mirei's parents won't accept him, but Mirei reassures him, saying that they will love him just as they love her, because they know her happiness depends on it. Meanwhile, some intimate photos of Soa leak online and spread quickly. She realizes that a mysterious guy has been following her everywhere. As her paranoia grows, the stalker appears and locks the door, preventing her from escaping. She discovers that this guy has always watched her and is obsessed with her. Soa tries to escape, but he throws her to the ground and reveals a bottle of acid, threatening to disfigure her face. However, Unsu arrives just in time and lands a flying kick on the attacker, knocking him out instantly. Soa, terrified, immediately thinks she has become ugly. But Unsu picks up the bottle and reveals that it was just water inside. Still, Soa, in desperation, tries to cut her own neck. Unsu manages to stop her and makes her see reason. Soa asks why he keeps pretending that Mirei is prettier than her. Unsu tells her to stop comparing beauty because being more beautiful doesn't mean being happier. He explains that obsession with beauty only brings misery and that what truly matters is what's inside, the friends and feelings that stay in one's heart and life. After a few days, Soa recovers, starts behaving better, and apologizes to everyone she hurt in the past. Meanwhile, Unsu and Mirei pass their exams and start building their future together. Unsu gets a job as a waiter, and one day, his sister and friends visit him at work. They can't believe how much more attractive he has become. But that's not all. Unsu wears a badge on his chest that says, "I have a girlfriend," and even matches his hoodies with Mirei's. However, Unsu forgets her birthday and Mirei pretends to be mad at him. So, Unsu plans a honeymoon, which actually turns out to be a surprise birthday party for her. After singing for Mirei in front of everyone, they take a picture that reflects their complete happiness. As they admire the beautiful scenery together, Mirei confesses that before, when she walked down the street, she would always notice other people's beauty, but now she doesn't care anymore. Then, Unsu makes his own confession. Because of his parents' marriage, he never wanted to get married. But now that he has met Mirei, he wants to marry her and have children with her. Overwhelmed with emotions, he kisses her, bringing their souls even closer and wiping away any sadness in their hearts. At that moment, Mirei finally understands that beauty is like a flower. It fades with time. And in the end, what truly matters is not an Instagram filter, but the honesty of the heart and the sincere words spoken to those we love. Because what makes someone shine is not artificial beauty, but the genuine embrace of the person they love, the one who makes their life glow like the morning sun. And well, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new uploads. I'm leaving more videos here that I'm sure you'll love. Thank you very much for your time. See you later.